obvious that you have pain.
Yeah.
Like that, what you're going to project energetically is going to be different too.
Yeah.
You know, that's totally random. I don't know why I was even thinking about that, but because you were talking about whenever a person comes in, and you were like, that guy's going to be a fucking problem. I'll have that same kind of thing, but not because of the way they're holding themselves, but because like I'm picking up on a vibe that it feels like confrontation automatically, you know? And maybe my eyes see the body language and my brain translates it. I don't know for sure. But yeah. Okay, let's skip. We're terrible communicators. Let's skip on to the next one.
I mean, I'm not terrible, but I could be better.
I was being funny because the last thing was skilled communicators.
Okay. I didn't pick up on that.
Okay, so the next characteristic of an inspirational leader is encouraging unity.
Indeed.
Or to encourage unity.
Yeah. Queen Latifah.
I don't even get that reference.
She's got a song called Unity. It's very good.
Will you sing it?
Am I allowed, producer?
Yeah, you have to sing it. You can't.
I mean, you've heard the song UNITY, UNITY. That's a unity. It was from like the mid '90s. No, it's fucking great. You should listen to it.
I don't get pop culture references. I don't. If it was on the radio ever, I didn't hear it.
Queen Latifah is very underrated.
Okay.
Do it. This is your homework.
Spotify it, send it to me.
I don't have Spotify.
What do you mean you don't have Spotify?
I don't have Spotify. I do, but like I don't
what
use it.
Music platform do you have on your? Do you have a music platform on your phone?
Yeah, I got a couple different ones.
If it's Pandora, delete that shit and download Spotify.
No, I have Spotify.
Oh, you do?
I don't use it much.
Okay.
Because like I use Google Play Music. That like I pay
Google's
for.
Good. Google's good.
Yeah.
Okay. An inspirational leader encouraging unity.
Yes.
I want to. I'd like to give you a shout out in your ability to encourage unity, especially using tools that we already have in place, like GroupMe, the group chat platform that we use.
Yeah.
Like. A lot of the times when you're messaging the group chat, it's complete nonsense. But they're like when we have busy shows, you're always super encouraging and lifting up every single person in that group. I don't know if you even do it consciously or if it's just like, oh well, I wanted to say this because I felt good about how it went. But that kind of shit encourages the unity of the staff.
No, I like to let them know that they're good, that they're doing a good job, because a lot of times in the service industry, you only get recognized when you do something wrong.
Right.
You know, like you forgot a drink at this table, or you spilled something over here. Mm-hmm. You know, those things happen very few and far between, but not everybody always gets the compliment like, you did a really good job tonight.
Right.
I was paying attention and I saw that like you were on top of this and but this and that. You know, so I like to just let people know that, because in my capacity as a manager, mm-hmm. even though I'm not necessarily in charge of them, like that's not my job. It's still, I'm somebody in a quote unquote position of power, so I feel like it's a good thing to
authority.
Okay, sure, authority,
sounds much better.
Whatever. Because if they're having a problem with a table, they come to me.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
right.
I like to just let them know that like I'm paying attention and I can see that they're all working hard and they're doing a good job. And
you have no idea. Well, you might. You probably have an idea how far that goes. Like the group of people that we have working at Liquid right now is the best crew that we've ever had since
fantastic.
I've worked there. And from what I hear, the best ever since Jeremy's opened the place. There's been a few other times where we've had one or two really solid bartenders and one or two solid cocktailers, but everything else was just like a clusterfuck.
Yeah.
But when we get 7 girls on the floor and 3 bartenders behind the bar and 2 comedy managers and 2 door guy security types?
Just Dustin. Well, yeah, no, 2. There'll be 2. Dustin does the front door.
Like,
and then for like the big shows, Hugo will be
like 200. Let's just say 220, give or take, probably on the lower side.
probably.
People in that room. It's a small room. If you've not been to Liquid Laughs, you need to come in there and check it out. And then you need to imagine what it would look like with 220 people in that room.
Yeah.
You'll be blown away. And the staff at Liquid Laughs is like a well-oiled machine.
Oh, absolutely.
And we couldn't be that well of an oiled machine if we didn't have people like you encouraging the unity.
Oh, well, thank you. That's very nice of you to say.
It's fucking true, man.
I don't know that I believe that I have that much to do with it, but thank you. That's
well,
nice of you.
You do. I mean, we all do. It's all each and every single one of ours responsibility to make that happen.
Yeah,
and
it's
we're
a group
all doing
effort.
It,
Yeah, everybody holds it down.
Yeah, super fucking cool. I enjoy it for sure. And Jeremy too.
Yeah.
Like sometimes I think he pipes off and he can come off a little abrasive, especially whenever he's talking about things that are seemingly outside of our control.
Right.
You know, like recently there was a comment that got made in the group chat about something that you would think is within our control. But just for example, when a person or a group of people walk out on a tab.
Yes.
Like that sucks. It's frustrating, but it does happen. And honestly, I think the bartenders, because that's been more of an issue with bartenders than anyone else. When that happens, I think those bartenders, myself included, should be held accountable and take care of their shit. You know?
Sure.
But whenever it doesn't get taken care of, a tab gets discounted and put on the wall, and hopefully we'll see that person come in again, and then they'll pay it later. But more often than not, when those people come back in, we're not asking them to pay for their tab.
Right.
And, I mean, I could totally do it more often, but my thing is, if a person walks out on a tab on me, I pay it, and it's done.
Right.
And then they'll pay me back later, generally. Unless it's a really big tab and I know I'm going to see them the next day or something like that, you know?
Yeah.
And then the other bartenders, there's like a cork board and it's just covered in walkouts.
Yeah.
And it's totally ridiculous that it happens, but it does happen. But never once, I don't think, did one of the bartenders say, "No, you guys are cool. We'll just discount this and then you can pay it in a year from now."
Yeah.
You know, it just doesn't happen that way. And Jeremy had said something that was a little frustrating about the whole situation. But aside from little things like that, he's a super encouraging guy, and he wants us all to work really well together. And he will bend over backwards to make sure that you're happy, too.
That is true. That is definitely true.
One of the best bosses I've had. Yeah, so to basically wrap that up, encouraging unity within, a group of people, a place of employment.
Yeah.
Even something as simple as our friends on social media, you know, creating and building a community, is really important to have a sense of unity, something that is bonding us together.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah. Because we're by nature, we're like pack animals. You know?
I'm not sure if I follow.
Well, before, back in the day.
Do you mean herd?
Herd, pack. We group up
together.
We group together.
Okay.
That back in the day before there was, electricity and cars and modern whatever. There were just little groups of people who staked out their land, and this is where they lived, and they all helped each other, and they traded things, and if one person needed this, they got it from here, and people need people. You know, we're social creatures by nature.
Yeah.
Which is why we all, you find people, like you said, your vibe attracts your tribe.
Yeah.
Right? We need, whether or not we necessarily like all people, we like our people.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it's just kind of,
I think we want connection, and we want that connection to be meaningful.
Yeah.
For sure. Okay, so moving on to the next topic.
Approachable and inclusive.
Inclusive meaning everyone, right?
Yeah, meaning you include. Yeah.
So I don't know.
It's fine. It's
you know
it's been a long
you know whenever you hear cruises, all inclusive or all exclusive, I don't know.
all inclusive.
Is it all inclusive?
Yeah, it would be all inclusive. All exclusive would be just for specific people or
what's
things.
What's the thing that like people are like, oh, it's exclusive? Is it clubs? Is that
It's an
like,
exclusive club.
Yeah,
or
yeah.
Exclusive is certain people can get in. Inclusive is everyone is welcome.
like the yacht club.
Yeah.
Okay, fuck those guys.
Fuck them. Fuck you and your big
We're gonna
ass
have
boats.
an all-inclusive yacht club.
I'll have to upgrade the yacht then.
Fuck y'all
Yeah.
and your big boats.
I only got paddle boards right now, but eventually I'm gonna get a yacht.
If you get enough paddle boards together, you can make like a makeshift yacht,
Dude, straight up.
and then it won't sink.
I saw last year at Lucky Peak like 20 paddle boards, like 20 people all on paddle boards, like synced up to each other. It was pretty fucking cool. Yeah. So, like, what do you think? What do you think makes a person approachable?
I think a lot of it has to do with body language.
I was thinking,
like because there are some people that you see and you're like, well, no. Let me think about this for a second. So you, Dwayne, are a person who sometimes can appear unapproachable because of the mood that you're in or like the energy that you're giving off. Like I know that you and I are friends and we have a good relationship, but there are some nights that I can see on your face you don't want to be bothered. And so I'm like, all right, I'm not going to irritate him like I usually do. And I say irritate in the sense of like, like trying to needle you and like get you to laugh or whatever while we were at work.
Yeah.
But there are just some nights that I'm like, well, nope, Dwayne is not to be approached right now. I'm just not going to bother him.
What do you think that I could do to work on that?
I think you're very intense.
Is it like in the heat of the moment, like balls deep in tickets kind of thing?
Definitely in the heat of the moment kind of a thing, or like you were saying, like we were talking about earlier, with like when there's a negative energy in the building itself, like with everybody, then it's like you give off a vibe sometimes that like now is not the time.
Okay,
you know what I mean, which is fine because for me anyway, like I've been in the service industry long enough to understand that that's not personal.
Right. It is absolutely
it's just
not.
People are going to snap at each other. It's a thing where it's a high pressure situation. Everybody's stressed out. We're all running around. We're all trying to get stuff done. So occasionally you'll run into somebody who usually, 99.99% of the time you're cool with.
Right.
And at that particular moment, like, no, not right now. And okay, I get it. But there's definitely an intensity about you at times that is absolutely unapproachable.
So I am aware of that. I would like to be able to work on it, right?
Yeah.
But at the same time, in those moments of intensity, it's almost like a tool.
Yeah.
That's why I am as good of a bartender as I am in the well for a sold out show like that.
Right. And I didn't mean that as a dig at you by any means.
I didn't take it that way at all. But what I like, me acknowledging it, also you being able to bring it to my attention, it kind of. So I don't know if you've noticed this, but if I'm in the well and I'm in that intense state, and I have people walking up to my bar, I am almost 100% of the time not going to be the one that goes and serves that person that comes up to the bar. Because I am aware of the intensity of my emotion in that moment. I am not going to be the best person to talk to a customer. And I've come around the corner and be like, hey, Eric, will you talk to these people real quick? Because I can't.
Absolutely.
And I do that partially because of the awareness that I have of my energy in that moment, but also because, like, every customer is important. But that customer is not more important than the 25 tickets that got rung in before them.
Absolutely.
And I have a hard time, like, switching, like, hitting the switch to be like, oh, hi, how's it going? Can I get you something?
Yeah, well, that's why you have multiple bartenders on the busy nights, so that one person can be in the well, somebody else is manning the bar, and on the flip side of that, there was a night a couple weeks ago where I was the one giving off